Welcome to Title Talk with your host, Drew Wishover, entrepreneur, a published author, and owner of Inspired Title Group, along with his co-host and CEO, Amy Maley. Each week, they offer you some laughs, industry terminology, tips and strategies, along with the occasional real estate professional to help educate you as it pertains to buying, selling, or just plain old homeownership. Thanks for spending time with them. Now, let's jump into today's episode of Title Talk.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to Title Talk. Please, thank you. Thank you. A round of applause. That really touches me. Thank you so much. Here we are again in our studio, and we have an empty seat. We have a see-through seat. We have my new guest today is Mr. Bones. Happy Halloween, everybody. Mr. Bones decided to join me here today because Amy Maley is in Francais. She has taken some time away, well-deserved time away, going to the Upper Peninsula of Illinois. Actually, she's going west, right? She's going to Galena. So anyway, I do not have a guest today. Well, I don't have a guest host today because Mr. Bones isn't going to say much. Anyway, my name is Drew. We are Inspired Title. We, meaning him and I. We are Inspired Title. We are your friendly title company coming to you again on Thursday, as we always do. Thursday, 10 a.m., right here. You're here. I'm here. Thanks for joining, guys. We really appreciate you and your dedication to spending some time with us on Thursdays and allowing us into your living rooms and computers and all the places that we go. And I don't want to know them all because that's kind of creepy. But anyway, thank you very much for joining us here again today. Wanted to just talk about a few things that we're going to share with. We do have a guest today. I have bringing on a Inspired Development partner, employee, friend, son, all of that good stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about what we do in the development world and how it relates to title and title companies, etc. I'm going to go ahead and move this on and finish my segment that I've been talking about for the last couple weeks, and it has been talking a little bit more about success. You want to be successful, right? That's something you want to be?
Of course.
I think we all aspire to grow and be successful and do some great things in our lives to not only give back to our family and friends, but to give back to the community. And successful people, that has been a very, very strong trait that is within. And typically, very successful people, that is a defined piece of what makes them successful, is the fact that they give back. So, it's really a nice and interesting starting point as well. If you are one who likes to give back and do good deeds, I really believe that it pays dividends tremendously. So, going through and having some conversation about what is success and how do people define it. As we've said in the past, everybody defines it a little bit differently, and success is not always what one person's measure of it is. It's very, very different for everybody, and that's what's great about it. It is different for everybody. It's not just one person's definition of what success is, and typically the simple definition of success is nothing more than achieving what you set out to do. And if I set out to do this show and it's done, we move on with our day, then I succeeded. I did the show. So measurements of success then become very personal because people hold it to a high regard when it comes to different aspects of it and what they want to be and what they want to do. So, we've gone through several of those things, and I'm on the last four for what we have found as our 10 successful items. And the one thing that really gets in people's way for being successful are distractions. You've got to make a point to get the distractions out of your way because that takes time, and it takes time away from your focus and your energy towards succeeding in that goal. So as hard as those are, it's really difficult to put away those distractions. An easy example of that would be shut off your phone. And just me saying that kind of makes me, nervous and because I'm attached to it. I'm working constantly. It's something that I'm always pushing for that next opportunity and communicating with those clients to, continue to engage in what potentially could be a business opportunity or another path that could lead to some successful outcomes. So really trying to turn off that phone and disconnect yourself from the distractions. It's very, very hard to do. So that's something that you need to do to become successful is give yourself time to think, that alone time to really discover who you are and define and measure your how you're doing in your path to success. Another thing for us to help and concentrate on is count on yourself. I think that's something that I've taught you guys as kids is there are a lot of people around you in family and friends, but you can't always count on them all. You got to count on yourself to achieve that goal that you set. Nobody else is going to do it, right? I mean, if you set a goal, I'm not going to do it. It's your goal. You set it. So
you best.
Yeah, you got to count on yourself to go out there and do that. Your best friend's not going to be able to take that pressure out of the way and kick that obstacle. They may be there to root you on and support you, but you got to count on yourself. You got to believe in yourself. You're up for that promotion. You're out for that opportunity to show the management team that you're worthy of that opportunity. Well, the rest of the team in the office isn't going to help you get that promotion. You got to try and do it on your own merits. So it's really important that you make these goals and make these goals as you're making them. Recognize the successes of those goals as you go through those. Counting on yourself and being accountable to yourself, saying, well, I set the goal, but I didn't get to it in its entirety, doesn't mean you failed. Look at your growth process and count on yourself that you're moving and you're getting there and you've made some great strides to doing that. So it's not always that you failed because you didn't get there. It's recognizing those positive achievements that you've gotten. Something else to also help yourself being successful is keep planning. Don't become complacent. Stick to a schedule with your goals. Just set them and then kind of fall into some habitual processes that help you achieve those goals. Give yourself some challenges. Give yourself the reasonable opportunities, and give yourself grace that if you don't feel strong today to go out and run 7 miles, but you ran 5, give yourself grace that you still went out and ran 5.
Didn't fail.
Right. You still ran 5.
Yeah.
I mean,
get the positive out of everything.
You got to. I mean, I'm going to save $5,000 by the end of the year. Oh my gosh, I only saved $4,500. I saved $4,500. That's okay. Give yourself grace. Keep planning and saying, but I'm on the path. I'm going to get there. So maybe it didn't take me 12 months. It took me 13, or it took me 15 months, whatever. But you're still planning on finishing that goal. So it's okay. And finally, the last piece of this is try to avoid getting burned out. I guess I should practice what I preach, and this is something that is very, I can relate to. It's very, very, it speaks loudly to me. It's important to focus on your goal, but not to obsess about it. And the key word there is obsess about it. You set a goal, and if that's the only thing that you're doing, and if that's the only thing that's occupying your time, you're obsessing about it. You're going to get burned out. And you're going to get burned out by not making it fun, by making it negative. As Ryan said, you've achieved most of it. Don't beat yourself up. And that's not making it fun. You're not going to set any more goals. Burned out, recognize when you're fatigued. Recognize when you've set too many goals and they're lofty. and maybe pull back on a couple. Maybe give yourself that opportunity to say, you know, these are things I still want to do, and then just shelf them for a later date. That goes back with the planning. That goes back with the thinking of constantly having goals. That's how you succeed. Constantly challenge yourself. Constantly push and motivate yourself. Nobody else is going to do it for you. Nobody else is out there going to hold your hand and go, I have the path to success, come and walk with me. The path to success comes from within. The path to success comes from each individual having something burning inside of them that they want to achieve. I mean, I know we'll bring it up at some point, but the book that Mr. Bones is holding, that was a path for success. I set out to write a book. I struggled on some topics of that book. I struggled on some ideas. I struggled on days even to write. But the path to success for me was breaking those chunks down to smaller parts and doing it over a period of time. And there it sits, as a creation of something that was inside of me that I brought to words and communication for people to read and enjoy and hopefully apply. A lot of what I'm speaking of here is in the book. A lot of my processes in thinking is in the book. Obviously, Ryan lived with me for 20 years, and I coached him. I was able to, I was blessed to be a very big part of his life in his growing years, coached both him and his brother in the game of baseball. And there's an excerpt from Ryan in that book that is really kind of breaks down for me what the essence of what we do is with regard to motivation and success and inspiration. Is he was excited about going to that next game to see and hear what other things he'd be learning and being able to get to that next level. And Ryan was blessed to play all the way through the college level. And as a dad, that's you're proud of that, but as a mentor, as a coach, you're really proud of that because your efforts are right there in front of you. And you took a lot of those things and were able to, really use those in your own life and continue probably to use those things today.
Of course.
Right?
Always.
I mean, is there any one thing that sticks out to you from maybe your childhood that, was a inspiration or a motivation from me that you continue to just kind of remember or utilize in your life?
Yeah, put me on the spot like that.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, but I just remember because you knew my talent, you knew Christopher's talent, and you would get a bit upset about it because you're like, I know your guys' talent, you guys are great, you guys are phenomenal, and when we make a silly mistake, yeah, you would harp on us a little bit, but we wouldn't take it as oh, Dad's just being mean and stuff like that. No, I took that in as a learning experience. Like, I could be better on that. I know what I need to do in that situation, and I know now I do that in life. Like, you embedded responsibilities, especially as we got older. Be responsible with your financials, be responsible for your people around you,
right.
Everything like that. And that's gonna it stays with me, and it's always always will stay with me because responsibility is the biggest thing, or one of the biggest things in life.
And that's a good point, and I appreciate you sharing that because as we talk about success, as we talk about growth, as we talk about a book that is written regarding baseball as a format and how it's not about teaching the game of baseball, but it's teaching life lessons, i.e. the name of the book. Really, that's what's key in the expectation of success is what are the life lessons? What are the lessons that I need to become successful? And folks, there's not a book out there. There's not, you're not going to be handed this manual and say, "Hey, do this and you're going to be successful." It's not out there. It has to come from within. You got to find what you enjoy. You got to find what you're passionate about. You got to set goals. You got to push yourself. You got to challenge. You got to give yourself grace. You got to surround yourself with that circle of confidence and really, really employ those people around you to feed you reaching and succeeding those goals. So I just want you guys to take away, and I'll talk next week a little bit more about some different opportunities and ideas to look at for success and how it maybe is applicable in the workplace and how you can utilize it in your own lives potentially. So we will continue the success series into next week. Next week will be a very fun week, I think, with some ideas that we have as behind the scenes and kind of what we're going to do here. We'll obviously have Ami Mali back in the studio, so
will Mr. Bones be here?
Mr. Bones might be here. Stand by. We might have some Mr. Bones surprises and
Mr. Bones and friends.
And friends. We could be a collection of Mr. Bones.
Yeah.
Mr. Bones and me. He may be invited to bring his family in. Who knows? So, so that's great. And thank you guys for tuning in and listening to some inspiration and motivational talk about success. And we will definitely do some more of that. Oh, good deal. Good deal. So, why don't we wrap this thing up? We, meaning me and Mr. Bones, right? Me and Mr. Bones are going to wrap this up and get you guys on with your happy Thursday. I thank you for listening each and every week. I thank you guys for the loyalty, for the business, for the opportunities that you provide in the community with us, and all our different partners and all our different business colleagues, and you guys are amazing. We couldn't do this show every week without the support of you guys out there listening and sharing this and putting this out there with your family and friends. So continue to do that. Continue to like and share. This will be up on YouTube probably tomorrow. You can definitely subscribe to our YouTube page. If there's anything you missed, if you need to contact us, our phone number is scrolling across the top very quick, but we are located in the friendly town of Palos, and we are available to talk to you guys. Happy to hear about any conversations and questions that you might have. So please don't be shy. If there's anything you guys want to know in the title world, we're here. Until next week, everybody, my name is Drew. That's Mr. Bones. He won't talk. We are Inspired Title. Take care, everybody.
Well, there you have it. That is it for this week's edition of Title Talk. Be sure to head over to our Inspired YouTube page and subscribe and like. And make sure you follow the team on Instagram and Facebook. Join us again next time for more tips and knowledge from the industry pros. Thanks again for listening.